How do you teach 21st century students 20th century history and make it relevant, interesting, and personal, especially when the subject is the Holocaust? Recently, I traveled to Berlin, Germany to find out.
Ich wurde 1907 in Berlin geboren. Wir waren eine große Familie. Ich hatte 4 Geschwister: Betty, Erna, Zilli und Arthur.
70 teachers, curriculum writers, and education ministry officials from 14 countries traveled to Germany recently to take part in the Centropa Summer Academy. The forum is designed to reach what Centropa director Edward Sirota called today's tech-savvy generation.
The biggest challenge is that education hasn't caught up with where the kids are. The kids are waiting for the adults to bring educational content to them. The challenge is that with iPads, iPhones, and other tablet computers is that the kids are using these, it's where they live their digital lives. But education hasn't caught up so much with that, and that's what we're trying to do.
It wasn't long until educators from around the world began contacting Centropa, requesting permission to use the material. That gave birth to Centropa's summer and winter seminars, sponsored in part by the European Jewish Fund. Centropa is not only dedicated to combating anti-Semitism and Holocaust denial, but also to connecting people to the lands of Jewish heritage. They do this by creating programs about the entire 20th century, not just about the period of the Third Reich. I'm Yochanan Elrob reporting from Berlin, Germany.
Jewish and Muslim leaders recently got together in Paris in an effort to find a common ground and move forward, as we see in this report filed by special IBA correspondent Leah Zinder.
A warm handshake. Nothing remarkable there until you consider the context. 21st century Europe has been marked by escalating tension and violent flare-ups between Jews and Muslims, most tragically in Toulouse, the massacre earlier this year of a rabbi and 3 small children by an Islamist terrorist.
And yet, despite all this, you came here. Why?
Why I came? No, because if we don't do anything to make the situation more quiet, so we'll have to leave Toulouse and to go, I don't know, in Israel, or because the situation is really very difficult in Toulouse for Jews now.
It was against this strained backdrop that New York Rabbi Mark Schneier, in cooperation with the Grand Mosque of Paris and the European Jewish Congress, managed to bring together 70 imams, rabbis and lay leaders from 18 countries for the second gathering of European Muslim and Jewish leaders.
I just learned before entering this room that just yesterday, a group of Jewish school children in Berlin were attacked by a group of Muslim youth. And I challenge Muslim leaders across Europe to speak out for the other, to fight for the other, to make this injustice your injustice, to make this bigotry your bigotry.
We cannot wait that we achieve a full trust between us. But what we can do, we can make a first step toward building trust in the future. I think that we have no choice.
Esta puerta era la entrada a un barrio que incluía a la mitad de este palacio.
The aims of the BEIT project are to transform Jewish heritage sites into a tool for reflecting on contemporary civic, social and cultural issues. The element of bringing together pupils from Jewish and non-Jewish schools to learn and to study together on the Jewish heritage site has a very strong impact. And one of the things that the pupils actually say about the experience is how fantastic the idea and the experience of studying peer-to-peer with another children that comes from another school, and actually to begin to bring down all the prejudice and actually to build bridges between the communities through the Jewish heritage sites.
leading statesmen and renowned global experts on the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons attended the International Luxembourg Forum on Preventing Nuclear Catastrophe, where they discussed critical issues related to international security and strategies to resolve deadlocks over ongoing atomic development.
9 countries possess a total of approximately 19,000 nuclear warheads.
Speaking for the forum, the president of the Russian International Affairs Council, retired Soviet General Vladimir Dvorkin, who once had his finger on the USSR's nuclear red button, said that Israel does not pose any kind of a danger to the world community because it's never threatened nor demonstrated any atomic hostility toward any party. The hardline Islamic Republic of Iran, however, continues to serve as a lightning rod for world concern. In an effort to stem the ongoing wave of xenophobia across Europe, the 2012 Medal of Tolerance was awarded to Croatian President Ivo Josipovic and former Serbian President Boris Tadic. They were sponsored by the European Jewish Congress and bestowed at the European Parliament in Brussels this past week. More in this report from IBA's Dennis Zen.
Leaders of 2 former warring Balkan states were honored for their efforts at promoting peace and understanding in southeastern Europe at a ceremony in the European Parliament in Brussels. Croatian President Ivo Josipovic and former Serbian President Boris Tadic received the 212 Medal of Tolerance Award, which is bestowed by the European Council on Tolerance and Reconciliation, the ECTR.
I think the achievements of 2 presidents in the last years were really very remarkable and very important for the future of this region.
Boris Tadic, the former president of Serbia, said he's not surprised by the recent upsurge of racism and xenophobia in Europe.
I see that process is a normal outcome of the economic challenges we are facing with on the European continent everywhere. Whenever we are facing with a crisis, with economic crisis, right-wing parties are raising their popularity, but the final outcome can be very difficult to everybody.
The patrons of the event, the European Council on Tolerance and Reconciliation, announced that in light of the ongoing racial strife raging throughout Europe, it will present the European Parliament with a draft law to make tolerance mandatory across all 27 member states. However, ECTR co-chairman and European Jewish Congress President Dr. Moshe Kantor warned, at the same time, tolerance cannot be unlimited.
What means unlimited tolerance to racism? What means unlimited tolerance to xenophobia, anti-Semitism? What means unlimited tolerance to proliferation of nuclear weapons? What means the unlimited tolerance to migration? Migration is a positive thing. Europe can't live without migration. But every country should have the right to establish their own rules of migration. Otherwise, it will be endless. That's why we formulate a principle which could be a subject of very serious implementation. And this is we call secure tolerance. Tolerance limited by the demands of security.